You might want to put a disclaimer on mine.
You just did.
Yeah.
That's fine. Introduce yourself for me.
My name is Shohn Woods. Fixing to be 41 years old, and I have 3 children, one typical, and 2 with autism. So, what you want to know?
What are your thoughts on having them in a self-contained classroom versus in an inclusion classroom?
Luckily for me, I've got an 18-year-old who's graduating this year with autism, and I have a soon to be 10-year-old with autism, his son. Personally, they're highly functioning, so it's got to deal with a degree of severity. But really and truly, the fact of the matter is I think the self-contained classroom for most children with ADHD, autism, whatever, is just bullshit. Excuse my language, but the reason why is because I had this problem with my oldest. Went to Sherwood Elementary in Phoenix City. There wasn't a lot when we found out he had autism that schools were doing, so all they wanted to do was shove him off into one special needs class with kids that really needed one-on-one type of attention. That wasn't going to work because, like I told the speech therapist, because that's all they had, was, what are you going to do? Are you going to, when he gets out of kindergarten, are you going to be with him all the way through elementary school and then continue on with him through middle school and high school and even college and all that? Because to me, it's kind of enabling the child by putting them in a separate classroom by themselves. They don't know how to function out in the real world. So that's kind of my whole thoughts on that. They need to be with their peers so they can learn, they know how to function. I'm not going to be around forever for my kids. Neither is my wife. So, they got to learn how to rely on themselves, support themselves. So that's my whole theory as far as, in my case, that is. But I mean, it's a case-by-case basis, dealing with your kids. So.
What are some things that teachers have done that have made it easier for you and your children?
Definitely easier. One thing is actually you get a hold of some teachers that have been down my road. They have special needs children. I don't really like that label. We'll just say that, just to make it easier. They understand where you're coming from. They actually listen instead of just doing some textbook psychology bull crap. Going like, your child has autism, so we're just going to lump them all together and do this one thing. They actually work with you on your IEPs and try to individually tailor that towards your kid. That's definitely made it easier. Just listening, understanding the struggle that we go through. We know it's hard on them at school. It's just as hard as also with us at home. It's hard. So that's probably the thing that's really made it easier, is having a teacher that listens and understands. A good support group from the school too. I mean, you got a whole bunch of support coming from the administrators. They're wanting to work with you. You have a lot of outside resources to try to help out. That definitely helps out. So that's kind of what makes it easier there.
What would you want new teachers just coming out? What would you want to tell them? What would you want them to know?
It's kind of like this. I'm an automotive mechanic by trade. It's kind of like the same thing I tell new techs that come in. You need to observe before you open your mouth. Too quick, I have a lot of guys that come out of tech school and they think they know everything. Then the first time they get assigned a struggle or get run into a problem, like that. You don't have time for that out in the real world. keep your mouth shut and learn. You know, the best thing to do is hands-on. There's only so much a book can teach you. There's only so much, you know, a teacher can teach you. If you don't have actual hands-on experience, you know, I'm just like, don't run your mouth that you know everything. Go sit in the classroom. I mean, you know, you want to become a teacher. I mean, go out into your field, go out into your environment before you even start. You know, go to an inclusive classroom. Go to a classroom where my kid's in. You know, he's mixed in with regular kids and everything. Observe it. See how it is. Make your own determinations. Gather information from those that have been there. Just don't come straight out of the gun thinking you know everything. That honestly will piss off a parent worse than anything, especially if they're able to call you out on it. And I have called teachers out on it several times.
Parents tend to be the experts. You do know more about your child than anybody. Thank you so much. I think we're going to end it here.